Hello everyone, welcome to today's podcast. I'm Dr. Priya, and today we have a very special guest, Dr. Shilpi, a very well known personality with over 20 years of experience. Dr. Shilpi, welcome for today's podcast. Dr. Shilpi, let me start with a broad question. So, what's your call on women's health overall?
So, women's health is very demanding. Actually, whatever lifestyle that women are, in every phase of her career, every phase of her life, she needs to be very responsible. And women's health is the least cared for. She's always behind something else. To be a perfectionist, she doesn't take care of her health, doesn't take care of her nutrition, doesn't take care of her wellness. Now, women's health has to be focused in such a way that not only her health and wellness is taken care, it is very very important to take care of her not only physical wellness, mental wellness, emotional wellness, and financial wellness also, because that is where the entire strength of women is. And WHO also says that health is not only absence of any disease, it is physical, mental, emotional, and psychological well-being also. And women need to build up their profile so that all these things are taken care of, and not merely an absence of any disease of deformity.
How does low hemoglobin affect women's health, especially during the periods and menstruation cycle?
Women constantly lose some amount of blood in the form of menstrual cycles. So it definitely means that her nutrition should be powerful enough to generate that amount of blood and keep her well. And when we talk about blood, it is not only about iron. Hemoglobin is made up of heme and globin, which means heme has iron, B12, folic acid, and globin is protein. Most of the women just take some kind of a random food and they expect their body to be well. It is not that way. When you take the right proportion of iron, right proportion of B12, and you should check whether your B12s are getting absorbed or not. There are conditions where B12 absorption is not there, where only injections work, and folic acid is taken or not. Along with these things, it is important that she takes good amount of protein. And when we focus so much about her diet, which is in India deficient in iron and also protein, and Indian women are constantly having cycle issues or period issues and some high bleeding or some kind of a problem, they neglect their overall health. And when there is less blood, they tend to have a lot of weakness, they tend to have a lot of body pains, aches, cramps, inability to concentrate, and the amount of vitamin D deficiency that is running in women is too high. And with all of these, she's expected to do all her chores very perfectly. This is where women are going wrong. When they're not focusing on vitamin intake, especially the iron part, B12 and folic acid, and dietary protein, they would always have a weak body. And weak body means it will definitely affect their capacity to perform and work. That is the major force that she is going towards. And when you can't balance these things, then it is going to be a problem.
Speaking on the right nutrition, Dr. Shilpi, what do you suggest?
Women's nutrition is very, very special because we talk about gross nutrition, where we talk about carbohydrate, protein, fats, and we talk about the other nutrients, the micronutrients and the macronutrients. They are very, very important, like iron, calcium, magnesium, iodine, zinc. There are trace elements also that are very, very essential for women's health. And when we talk about the other micronutrients like folic acid and some B6, B12s, and vitamin C, that is again very, very important in iron absorption. Along with these, when we talk about the major stuff, people are more concentrating, especially women are more concentrating on eating anything that comes to their plate. So whatever is left over or whatever gives instant energy, they take a lot of carbs. But carbohydrates do not help in everything. They might give you some calories to burn your energy, but your wellness comes with the right amount of protein and fat, including your hemoglobin levels are balanced with protein. So protein is something that you have to concentrate on, and Indian women are deficient in protein. And when it comes to fats also, with the latest concept of losing weight and maintaining their shape, they think fat is their enemy, but fat is not women's enemy. Fat is very essential for all hormones that regulate your menstrual cycles, all reproductive hormones. An entire body runs on vitamin D, which is a fat soluble vitamin. It only gets absorbed when your fats are in place. So it's important to balance carbohydrate, proteins, and fats, simultaneously concentrate on multivitamins and intake of iron supplements. And here there are so many traditional iron supplements that are available, but whichever is very essential, which has very good absorption rate, and that is very important. And iron tend to give lot of side effects, and that's why it demotivates women from taking iron tablets. It might cause nausea, constipation, and irritability and gastritis, but chelated iron does not.
So my next question is, as women ages, there's a lot of concern regarding the women's bone health. So what do you suggest how to improve their bone health?
Every stage of woman's life, you need to have calcium, and that calcium plays a huge role not only in her physical fitness, her eventual fitness also is depending on her bone health. And when women are young, they if they exercise, if they take the right amount of calcium, and calcium intake is mediated by good amount of vitamin D levels, and when vitamin D is interdependent with fat intake, you should see where the vicious cycle is going from. Good fats, good vitamin D absorption, sunlight exposure, vitamin supplements together improve calcium absorption, and calcium absorption in the bones gives you longevity. And not only longevity, there are extra demanding situations like pregnancy, lactation, where there are so many increased demands of calcium. If she can take the right amount of calcium supplements at that time, and that too not for 2 or 3 months, entire pregnancy you need to take good amount of calcium. Post delivery, at least till you breastfeed, you need to take the same dose of calcium. I recommend 2 tablets of calcium during pregnancy and post delivery. And once you stop breastfeeding, at least for a year or so, to replenish your stores. Now, this is the level of calcium intake that women are supposed to take. But what are they doing? They either skip tablets or take it randomly. And there is a stage in women's life which is 35 plus again, where there is extra demand of calcium, and the calcium is moving away from the bones. If they don't take oral, foods, which again can cause a lot of calorie intake, because if you take milk related products, they come with a lot of calories, and if you want to really sufficiently take up the amount of calcium that your body requires, you need to take 4 to 6 glasses of milk a day, which is not possible. So that's why the role of calcium supplements come. And when calcium supplements come in post 35 years, if women take at least 1 tablet of calcium, and the good quality ones, not whatever comes to their hand, because carbonates don't absorb very well. And it's very, very important that you take good quality of calcium, and a trusted brand makes a lot of difference. And you continue to take it, because after 35 bone loss happens. So if you are actually taking calcium on a regular basis, it will help you in the long run. Not only it will help you maintain your bone calcium levels, it also indeed gives you that strength and prevents from fractures if you fall down. So along with calcium, it is important that you take vitamin D also, so that it helps aid the calcium absorption. And calcium absorption happens when you are active. You can't take a calcium tablet and sleep. It doesn't absorb very well. When you're in the most active phase of your day, that time you can take calcium with good amount of calcium rich products that will help calcium absorption, and vitamin D along with it, with a little bit of fat in it. Because if you just take randomly the calcium tablet, it doesn't get absorbed. So it's important to know what to do, when, where, and you should continue take calcium on a regular basis post your 35-40 years, because it will help you with your bone mass.
Well, definitely, I am going to try this combo, Dr. Shilpi. How a couple can improve their fertility rate by using these supplements.
Basically, we are in India right now, where there is so much of infertility that is suddenly risen from last 5 years. We didn't have so much of fertility issues before COVID. After COVID, we're seeing a huge spike in fertility issues, and most of the times that I have seen, it is because of your lifestyle, and lot of times it is because of improper diet, sleep pattern, lack of exercise, and lot of stress. In such, scenarios, supplements will help you a lot. Obviously, taking a balanced diet helps so much. Sleeping on time slow helps so much, and having a lot of fitness and some kind of an exercise will help improve fertility. But there are supplements like Silajit, Ashwagandha, and so many other supplements that are available, like some of the antioxidants like coenzyme Q and all these things that improve sperm quality, which is a major issue right now. Egg quality is again dominated by folic acid and antioxidants, but sperm quality is again deteriorating day by day. And there are supplements that are working very well towards improving egg and sperm quality. And you should never treat unilaterally only women for fertility. We have issues concomitantly going in the men and women, and they have to be simultaneously treated. And it's a combo treatment that goes and works very well, because pregnancy again is both the egg and sperm that are responsible to give healthy pregnancies. And when it comes to health, infertility treatment, the major stakes are antioxidants and vitamins that are playing a very good role.
A question, Dr. Shilpi. People do have some misconception about ashwagandha supplement. So, according to you, what are the contraindications with the supplements?
See, whenever we talk about supplements, there are two ways. There are people who are for it, there are people who are against it. But this is not what we want. We actually want, if something is actually helping any infertility treatment and couple in a most natural way possible. Ashwagandha and Silajit and all these herbs are actually there from very, very long time, and they have shown very good results. Overdoing things is not suggested, and not taking any supplements is not suggested. So there's always a balance that we should look forward to. And when we talk about diet and supplements, there are some natural ways to promote fertility. And every natural way to promote fertility has to be first accepted and taken care of. Only then you should go for treatments and therapies. Unless and until you improve your egg and sperm quality, what does it make a big difference if you go for IVF or IUI with bad egg and sperm quality? You would never have success. And taking good vitamins and good quality of life measures will improve fertility rates, get you naturally pregnant wherever possible. And it will also improve any help in the form of IUIs and IVFs that we do for other issues. And the quality improvement definitely improves the take-home baby rates also.
So, based on your experiences, Dr. Shilpi, and the challenges you have overcome, what supplements do you suggest?
Basically, in my daily practice, I rely on healthy lifestyle. Healthy lifestyle, eating right, making sure that you have complex carbohydrates, protein-rich diet, good amount of fats, make sure that you exercise, make sure that you de-stress yourself and sleep on time. Technology is becoming so heavy on people that you have to detox and get away from the screens wherever possible. Minimalistic, exposure to social media is good to take the right information, but overexposure is not correct. And supplements play an immense role and tremendously working very well. And the combo supplements there, which take care of calcium needs, which take care of the magnesium needs, which take care of the vitamin needs, are definitely there. And wherever possible, do not risk your health for any fads. Make sure that you have a balanced lifestyle and good supplements so that you always stay healthy and stay happy.
So, Dr. Shilpi, what's your view on PCOS and PCOD cases?
Now, PCOD and PCOS are conditions where there is so much of insulin resistance. There are two different types of PCOS and PCOD, the thin ones and the obese ones. Wherever said and done, PCOS again is causing a lot of insulin resistance. Inositols are working very well in such conditions. Along with antioxidants and inositols, good physical exercise, sleep patterns, and making sure that whatever you eat right and balanced diet actually works very well in PCO. And PCOS people have a lot of stress maybe because of pigmentation, maybe because of the excess hair, maybe because of the acne, overweight, and weight gain tendency. All this has to be managed with a holistic approach. Never go with only one balancing feature. When you have 5 different problems causing you trouble, you have to equally contribute and make sure that all the 5 things are taken care simultaneously. And one very important thing with PCOS is discipline. Discipline is something that you should look at. It is never that PCOS goes off in 6 months or 1 year. It is there with you forever. And your lifestyle should stay and change forever. That is something that is very, very important. Rest of it, it is definitely manageable and you can have a normal life when you manage your PCO very well. So make sure that you take the help of good vitamins, good lifestyle and correct PCO the most natural way.
Dr. Shilpi, for PCOD and PCOS cases, what supplements do you suggest?
PCOD and PCOS need good amount of antioxidants, multivitamins and inositols. They work very well. And there are so many combinations that are available and that is something that is going to help them in the long run.
So you meant combination of these supplements.
Yes.
Dr. Shilpi, before we close, any final advices you want to give on the supplements and the women's health?
Definitely. We have only one life and this life has to be taken care of by the most precious way possible. And whatever said and done, when you have to take care of yourself, there should always be a balance in good, bad and ugly things. Make sure that you increase your good things, stay away from bad things and prevent the ugly things from happening. And health is a state of mind that everybody should look forward to because health is something that is more than wealth these days. And wherever possible, if you concentrate on being healthy, you will eventually have a higher scores in life and you will fare well in whatever endeavors that you do. And that is what everybody wants, perfection. For perfection to come, you have to be perfect in taking care of your own self.
Thank you, Dr. Shilpi, for sharing your views and for expertise talk on women's health and what supplements to take and what not to take in today's episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone.